I want to take you back to the time when I was pretty much still a new officer. And I got dispatched to a simple check welfare call at a hotel. Long story short, the hotel staff was concerned about one of the guests. Well, I thought no big deal. This guy's probably drunk. We'll just bang on the door, get him on his way with friends, family, no big deal. So when I got to the hotel, I go to the room with the maintenance man. Well, he was legally allowed to use his key to go in there. And I stayed out in the hallway. He went in, and when he held the door open, I'll never forget what I saw. Nobody. I didn't see anything. I didn't see a suitcase. I didn't see any signs of life. I saw a clean room. I thought to myself, yes, this dude's gone. We'll just find out who he is, maybe where he went, so he's not entered missing later. No big deal. I mean, I'll be out of here in a few minutes. But then the maintenance man goes into the bathroom. And I'll never forget the words he said. He hung himself. Well, right then and there, after he said that, I started to get this, my breathing started to get shallow. I started to get a knot in my throat. I started to get this wave of anxiety, but I knew I had a job to do, so I go in, cut left, and then walk into the bathroom, and I look to the right, and I see this man hanging, and my heart sank. I was devastated. But at the same time, I'm having this inner conflict in my head going, wait a minute, I'm a tough police officer. I shouldn't be feeling this way. What's wrong with me? And then I'm thinking to myself also, I've been treated for PTSD before whenever I got home from Iraq. What's going on here? We processed the scene. I knocked out the report. But do you think I said anything to anybody about how upset I was after that call and seeing that person like that? No. I gave the typical police officer response. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I had a reaction the way I did because I, just like all of you in here, we are human. And the job of policing exposes you to things that your brain is not innately wired to see. And I did not know that going into the job. And if you think to yourself, I'm not suicidal, I'll be fine, it's not going to ever happen to me, we have other problems too. Unfortunately, 15% of police officers nationwide, approximately, are battling symptoms of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. 20 to 30% of police officers who work patrol nationwide will battle substance abuse issues. Here's the good news. Out of all the negative stuff I just talked about, the negative statistics, and unfortunately the incident that I was exposed to, which I underestimated the damage that call did to my mind, and I handled that the same way I did other events as well, which led me to going through a lot of mental health issues. But here's the good thing. There are ways you can strengthen your mind the same way you strengthen your body for physical conditioning so you can pass that POPAT. So you cannot be the first one to run out of breath, heaven forbid you get into a fight to save your life. You can change and adapt your mindset as you go through the stress and demands of the job. But something has to be done. We can't keep killing ourselves, literally. It's awful. The people that signed up to serve and protect are the ones that are not serving and protecting themselves so they can do that much better for the people that they're out there trying to protect. Hope that makes sense. This is all stuff I wish I was taught when I was going through the rookie school. And you can make mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. But sadly, as I've talked about, police officers can also engage in self-harming behaviors, including the greater suicide risk. So the purpose of this brief course that you're going to get is to show you how we react, why we react the way we do, and then I'm going to talk about signs and symptoms that you need to be aware of, because self-awareness is crucial. You're going to be taught through BLET, and then when you get out with a training officer, you're going to be taught, and you need to continue to educate yourself on how to identify external threats, how to know when someone possibly has a gun on their waist because they're rehearsing their draw and they're just patting their waist. You need to know this stuff, but that's external. You also need to be aware of what's going on in your mind and body. So I'm going to go over that. But then, like I said, there's ways you can combat this mental health pandemic we're going through strategies and techniques. And I'm going to go over some that can absolutely help you not only in the profession and in your life, but it can help you live your life to the fullest potential you possibly have. But a lot of these strategies and techniques are not really popular and not well practiced overall in America. But I'll get to those last. But these are just a few examples of what you as an officer are going to go through. We see these things regularly. And what your brain is innately wired to do is to wake up, seek food, seek relationships, and seek protection. Your brain is wired to protect you. And it will see the negative things a lot faster than it will the positive things. And when you experience trauma or, like a critical incident, and I'll cover this more in a little bit, your brain's going to take snapshots of the moments and rehearse them over and over and over again, thinking, how could I have done better? And then it also wants to process every detail about that incident. And you're going to see some actions done by people that you can't process. It's just evil. And you can't, with the right mind that you have, you can't fathom how someone could do such a thing, yet you had to see the results of it. But it's not just the critical incidents. It's not just the traumatic things you will see, such as when I saw that man hanging, or when I saw someone who had been shot and he was taking his last few breaths of his life. It's not just going to be that. It's going to be the stressors that you can encounter. Wearing heavy-duty gear, wearing a vest, paperwork, policies, approaching a house. Wondering, while you're approaching the house on a domestic, having to run through your mind, where am I going to go? What cover is around me just in case someone comes out that door and tries to ambush me? This is real. And you're going to be thinking that over and over, and you're going to be exposed to it shift after shift, week after week, month after month, year after year. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to be real with you. We cannot deny these things at all. And the statistics prove it. But there's strategies we can do to maintain a positive and healthy mind and body. But here's what it takes first. It takes self-discipline, persistence, and determination on your part not to let this job that you're getting into in law enforcement take you down. It took me down numerous times. I got back up, but it took me down. First one is this, meditation. I know what you might be thinking. Oh my God, I don't have time for that. I've never heard anyone say that they didn't have time to check their phone, that they didn't have time for Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. The point is, when I mention this, when people think, one, it's boring, two, they don't have time for it. I'm not telling you to sit crisscross applesauce for an hour, hour and a half and meditate and go, oh, no. The most I ever meditate in the mornings, when I do, it's about 4 to 5 times a week. 5 to 10 minutes, that's it. That's me. But we live in such a fast-paced society, and then on top of all the negativity you're exposed to on the news and on social media, then you're getting into the negativity, working in law enforcement. God, you need your mind to slow down. And this is a good way to do it. It can seriously help you fight addiction, sleep better, relieve stress, and it can help your mind get some clarity. The next one is exercise. Now you might be thinking, what? Not only will it help you on the job look presentable, not be the first one out of breath, but it can help with your mood. It literally produces endorphins, which are called nature's feel-good drugs. And just like I said in meditation, you don't have to do it an hour, hour and a half. No, absolutely not. Sometimes, like this morning, before I had to go to the range really early because the department I work for, we did firearms qualification today. I worked out hard for 20 minutes. That's it. But it got my body awake, had me feeling good, and then I went in and qualified. The next thing is reading. Another thing that you might be thinking, man, I do not have time to read. I'm not saying go read a 300-page book in 1 week. I can't do that. I'm not going to tell you anything I wouldn't expect myself to do. But when you wake up in the morning, or say you're working night shift and you wake up in the afternoon, your brain, after you wake up, is in a very impressionable, moldable state. And if you put healthy stuff into your brain in the form of reading, what exercise does for the body, reading can do for your mind. It can strengthen it. It can help it to be better adaptable to stressors and life changes and profession changes. Now, I've talked about what you need to do, what you can be consistent with. This is what I'm going to tell you to decrease a lot. The average person, I think, spends at least 4 to 6 hours on their phone a day. You might not think that. You're like, no, or they pick up their phone at least 100 times a day. When we check our phones first thing when we wake up, or we check our phones anytime during the day, what happens, particularly with social media and the algorithms that could potentially run our lives, because it's like, these algorithms, they know what piques your interests. You can get on a dopamine loop where your brain is used to that quick release of dopamine, which is a quick feel-good substance. And you forget that most things that bring happiness and joy are take time to work on. Take time, and you have to work on them. So rather than setting a fitness goal and working on that fitness goal, you can start that goal, and then you can start working towards that goal, and then the second you have a setback or something, you check the phone. It's our way of escaping the reality, but we're not really escaping. The problem didn't go away. When I wake up, I don't check my phone for at least the first hour that I'm awake. And our phones can be very distracting. And if you're on a traffic stop, or if you're in the car in a parking lot and you're on your phone, it's a safety issue at that point. It is a huge safety issue. And the thing is, you might be thinking, oh, that's easy, I'll just ignore it. If you're not careful, the texting and the social media can become so addicting, such a habit, that even on a traffic stop, you won't be able to ignore it. You'll take one quick glance, and that could have been the time when the person got out of the car and you didn't know they got out, and they got out before you did. We have to check ourselves when it comes to electronics. The next thing is surround yourself with positive people. You could be one of the most happiest, joyful officers, but if you get wrapped up in the negativity, and you don't do what my former captain told me to do, when that starts, you get in that police car and you drive away. And then not only can you not let yourself be exposed to a ton of negativity from the outside, you have to talk well and positive about yourself and to yourself for your internal working. That's why I listed self-talk and mindset. If you continuously talk about something that you don't have, you're going to forget about all the things that you do have. So many police officers get wrapped up in this. They get fixated on how much time they have till retirement. And they talk worse than, they act like they're in a prison sentence. How much time you got left? Oh man, I got 15 years left. And they're mad about it. That's not good self-talk. Never forget who you are. Never forget what drives you. Because the job will be gone eventually. You will work the full 30 and retire. Or you will just have to move on to something else. It doesn't mean you're less of a person because you're not in law enforcement anymore. So never forget who you are, and that you're service driven. It's been an honor talking to you today. Stay well, stay safe, and do great, okay? Any questions about anything? Oh, well, thank you.